Welcome to another episode of the Ginger ROAMance. Here, you'll hear anonymous stories from travellers all over the world. Real submissions from real people. Tales of connection, romance, passion, heartbreak, friendship, and love in all its forms. Because every kind of love deserves to be told. This week's episode is called Butterbasted and Bear, from Bangkok, Thailand. I matched with him on a dating app, and from the very first message, there was a spark. He was funny, quick-witted, and just cocky enough to be interesting, without ever being sleazy. The flirting was effortless, playful, confident, the kind that makes you smirk at your phone in public. After a few days of back and forth, he invited me over to cook me a steak. Now, let's be clear. Going to a random man's apartment in a foreign country is not exactly the gold standard of sensible solo female travel. But it had been forever since I'd had a proper steak, and there was something about him that felt safe. I was intrigued, so I went. And wow, I am so glad I did. He butter-basted that steak like it was a love language. Herbs, garlic, the slow sizzle in the pan. There is something wildly attractive about a big, muscly man focused on feeding you. Watching him move around the kitchen, forearms flexing as he cooked. It was domestic and primal all at once. We ate, we drank red wine, we flirted shamelessly across the table. The tension built slowly, glances that lingered a little too long, knees brushing under the table, the kind of charged silence that says everything without a word. After dinner, I offered to give him a massage. A generous offer, but not entirely selfless. I wanted to touch him. He lay on his stomach, and I let my hands explore the broad landscape of his back. Slow, intentional strokes over tight muscles, down his spine, across his shoulders. I took my time, let my hands drift lower, teasing the edge of what was innocent and what was not. He melted under my touch. When I turned him onto his back, I sat behind his head, cradling him in my lap, my fingers tracing his chest and arms. It was intimate in a way that felt almost tender, the energy shifting from playful to electric. And from there, things progressed. The massage became exploration. Exploration became hunger. We moved slowly. No rush, no awkward fumbling. Just two bodies discovering each other with intention. He undressed me like he was unwrapping something precious, pausing to compliment every inch as though he genuinely meant it. And it didn't feel performative. It felt reverent. The sex was exactly my kind of sex. Slow, connected, kissing between breaths, whispering what we liked, adjusting to each other. It wasn't frantic. It was deliberate. The kind that makes you forget where you are for a while. We made plans for the next night, my turn for a massage. But when I arrived, he had a friend over. For a brief second, my mind spiraled. Was I about to be casually introduced to a surprise threesome I did not sign up for? Then another friend arrived, with his 1-year-old daughter. Okay, not a threesome. We ended up sitting around his apartment, drinking wine, eating food he'd prepared earlier, talking across languages and cultural gaps. I wasn't annoyed. I just blended in, laughed, asked questions, felt comfortable. Later, he told me how much he had appreciated that I didn't sulk, that I could hold my own with his friends, that it felt natural. And there is something very sexy about being admired for who you are outside of the bedroom. Eventually, his friends left, and it was my turn. He lay me face down and mimicked the rhythm I had used the night before. Slow palms down my back, fingers pressing into my hips, deliberate and attentive. He admitted it was his first time ever giving a massage, which honestly just made it hotter. He had paid attention. He had learned my body in 24 hours. When he rolled me onto my back, his confidence had grown. His hands wandered with more certainty. His mouth followed, kissing, teasing, lingering just long enough to make me ache for more. That night was somehow even better than the first. It was deeper, less tentative, like we had unlocked something. Afterwards, we lay tangled together in that warm, hazy, post-coital glow. No phones, no distractions, just skin, breath, and the quiet awareness that this was temporary. I was leaving Thailand the next day. When it was time to say goodbye, we shared a long kiss at the door, and that look, the one that says, well, that was something. Not every connection is meant to become a relationship. Some are just two souls colliding at exactly the right moment to remind you what you like, what you deserve, how you want to be touched, how you want to be seen. For a while, I fantasized about our paths crossing again, but I think it's perfect to leave it just the way it is. He'll always just be the man who butterbasted me a steak in Thailand and left me with memories that still make me smile. Thanks for listening. Make sure you're following along to keep up to date with weekly stories that will inspire, entertain, and maybe even make you fall in love with the idea of love itself. Got your own romance story and want to be a part of the Ginger Romance community? Check the notes for details on how to submit your own.